All right. All righty. Peace and blessings, family. Welcome back. I am Key, and today's episode is one that's gonna shake up what you think you know about healing. I'm sitting down with someone who didn't just lose 78 pounds, he released years of stuck energy, emotional weight, and confusion about his body through 90 days of deep cleansing with nothing but juice. This is Imani, and his story is raw, it's real, and it's a reminder that when you commit to healing fully, life will meet you in ways that you just couldn't imagine. So if you're feeling bloated, heavy, inflamed, or just stuck in your own body, or if you've been wondering if juice fasting or raw living is really possible for someone like you, this combo is going to give you some insight, some clarity, and some serious proof that healing is possible from wherever you're starting. So let's dive in. So, Imani, take us back. What was your body? What was your energy? What was your mindset like before this healing journey started? What kind of lifestyle were you living? How were you feeling?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you, Key. Appreciate you inviting me on here. I really, really appreciate it.
My
Um,
pleasure.
yeah, so basically, it's been a roller coaster ride. But before I started this fast, I was at 415 pounds, which was the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life. I had very low energy. I had a lot of anxiety, um, some depression, um, and just overall just disgust with myself and embarrassment of myself. I didn't feel comfortable going outside as much anymore. None of my clothes could fit me anymore. Um, just all the stuff. And then one day I was getting up out of bed, and I was nervous because like the night before that I felt like I was dying. Like I was having troubles going to sleep because I just felt like my breathing was weird and stuff like that. And then my anxiety started flaring up. I was like, hey, you may not wake up tomorrow, you know. When I did wake up, I heard a voice in my head that said, hey, you don't fix it, you're gonna die. And so I was like, okay, it's time to face myself and get on the scale. And just to give you a little bit more context, um, back in 2021 or 2022, I um, I was at 399.6 pounds. This is like after the pandemic, getting all that pandemic weight. And I told myself I never want to be a 400-pound man. So I did a weight loss program, was working out, eating, high protein, calorie deficit, all that kind of stuff. And I ended up losing a lot of weight. I lost 125 pounds during that program
Wow.
and going on. So I felt great. I got all the way down to 276 pounds. I felt on top of the world. Everything was going great for me. And 2 years later, here I am again, right where I started, actually
Right.
worse than where I started. And
Wow.
so I I was so embarrassed and ashamed because like I worked so hard to lose all of that weight and I gained it all back and then some. So it's like, what do I do? Do I do that thing all over again, or maybe that wasn't the right path for me? Maybe I need to go a different route this time, and that's why I decided to do a different route and do the juice fast instead.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. And what kind of like diet were you eating day to day when you did gain the weight back?
Sure. I was eating everything. It was just
Yeah.
a very, very sad diet. So I work a lot. Um, I have Airbnb business as well too. I have a couple of stuff. So like I'm always busy, always doing something. And with my professional career, I work in IT. So I'm in front of a computer screen 8 to 10 hours a day with just a bunch of bad light shining on me. So as I'm gaining weight and having all this stress, I would stress eat. So um, this phone that we had, you can just open up your phone, go on the app, press a few buttons, and then food comes to you. So I would just
Yeah.
order. I would just order so much stuff. I could eat a whole stuffed crust pizza by myself. That's how bad I was eating. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I was just pretty much eating all the wrong things.
Okay, gotcha. And what kind of like planted the seed for you to um well, first of all, did you like go vegan or plant-based or vegetarian first before getting into the juice feasting?
Yeah, so I could answer both of those questions. So um, with the I definitely had. It's funny you say the what seeds were planted because I had many seeds that were planted into me that got me up to this point. I
Mm-hmm.
would say probably one of the first seeds. This was years ago. Um, Music really helped me out a lot. I love music. I'm not a musician or anything like that, but I'm just a big lover and fan of music. So, one of my favorite albums, I believe this was 2018, 2019, was Victory Lap by Nipsey Hussle. And I was
Mm-hmm.
listening to this album. I loved it. It was my favorite album that year. And I heard him mention a line, and he talked about Dr. Sebi. And I was like, okay, I'm not too sure who that man is. But I used to always like watch his interviews and stuff like that. And he would kind of go into more details. And I was like, okay, so who is this Dr. Sebi guy? So
Uh,
I find out who Dr. Sebi is and all about his history and how he's helped people and stuff like that. I was like, okay. That's my first time like kind of hearing about a fast. And at that time, I thought it was just way too extreme. I'm like, do a 90-day juice fast or fast for that long. It's kind of crazy. but
yeah.
that seed was there because in my mind I always felt like there's always a way to naturally heal yourself. So I always believe that, and to hear somebody has done it and he's helped other people, um, just help me with that belief. Um, Fast forwarding, closer to now, another one of my favorite YouTube channels is Earn Your Leisure. I started watching this interview with 19 Keys on this high
Mm-hmm.
level conversation talking to Yaki Awaken. And
Mm,
when I heard his interview, I was like, oh, wait a minute now. Like, I heard about this before, but now I'm getting more information. So now I started learning about him. And, and
right.
then now I'm down the YouTube rabbit hole of fasting. I've seen, some of Jillian Berry's videos, and now I'm just
Yeah.
seeing all these things. I'm like, oh wow, like regular people are doing this too, and they had their testimonies
Right.
on this as well. So that really gave me the confidence to start this. And what I did decide to do 3 weeks before doing the juice fast, I did go vegan. So um, I separated myself from the meat, but I wasn't eating like clean raw vegan. I was eating
Right.
just
The
I
junk
call it
food.
dirty. Yeah, I call it dirty vegan, man, because
Yeah, yeah.
it's I wish there was I wish there was a better understanding of what vegan actually is and the differences because it could be very misleading for a lot of people. I know some people think vegan is healthy, like you go vegan, you're healthy, and I'm like, no, not really, because fried food is still bad and sugar is still vegan, and so
Yeah.
there's
A thousand
there's
percent.
yeah, I wish that there was like better education and understanding of that because I know there's a misconception. So that 3 weeks of me eating dirty vegan, I think I lost 2 pounds.
Right.
So, I
Right.
didn't really lose any weight, but that's what I did up until starting the juice fast.
Okay, so you went from just basically eating standard American diet, a lot of junk food, and then you went kind of junk food vegan for 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and then you went straight into the juice fast after that, huh?
Yes. Yeah. Went straight to the juice
Wow.
fast. Yeah.
Okay, and how were those like, first of all, did you have a juicer?
I did. It's so funny. So I ordered a juicer in November 2024 on Amazon. I remember I ordered this juicer a while ago. It was a Breville cold press juicer. Not for the intention of doing a juice fast. I just these seeds were planted in me, so I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get a juicer and try juicing out. So I had this juicer, and I was like, okay, well, I'm deciding to do this juice fast. I have a juicer. Let's just go ahead and jump and do it. So yeah, so I did have a juicer, and yeah, I did get started. So when I got started, I didn't really have like a plan of action, like what
Right.
recipes I'm gonna do and stuff like that. I just said all I know is I'm gonna get organic produce, and I'm just gonna go straight for it, And
Wow.
I ended up losing 16 pounds on my second day, which was
What?
insane. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this has to be a lie. I got on the scale like 5 to 6 times to just make sure the numbers was correct, and it was only
Right.
off by like 1 pound. I was like, this is absolutely nuts. Like,
Wow. So
yeah,
did it feel like that? Did it feel like that?
it did. I had better energy. I slept great for the first time in a long time. So I was like, okay,
Wow.
I'm expecting that I'm gonna lose like maybe 2 or 3 pounds, but not 16 pounds. Like
Yeah, that's
that's
insane. That's
crazy. Yeah,
amazing. So what
yeah.
were those like what were the detox symptoms like just even those first couple of days? Did you experience detox symptoms like headaches, stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So like during the later part of the first week, they started to happen. I started getting the headaches and stuff like that, just getting those cravings and everything. But you know, I just listening to like a lot of the stories and stuff like that, I realized like this is not me wanting the food and the headaches and stuff like that. This is just a parasites in my body just going haywire. Like, and so I just told myself this is not what I actually want. Stay the course, stay the path, and you're gonna be okay. So, um,
Right.
yeah. So it was. I did have headaches and stuff like that, but I didn't let that get to me.
Okay, cool. Amazing. And in terms of like your support system,
Mhm.
like how did you just stay so consistent with this just living in society, maybe around, I don't know if you're living with people that are eating regular foods and stuff,
Yeah.
like what was your support system you created for yourself?
Yeah. So, great question. So right before I did the juice fast, I forgot to mention this. Like the voice came back to my head and told me, said, "Hey," because I got on that scale and I saw that I was at 414 pounds. And I was like, "What do I do?" And the voice came back and said, "You're going to juice, you're going to walk, and you're going to document." So I was like,
Mm.
"Okay." So I said, "I'm gonna be obedient. I'm gonna do that." So got the juicing thing started. Great. I started walking every day. So I said, because I live such a busy life, I don't want to have an excuse of not doing some kind of form of movement. So I told myself, bare minimum, what you're going to do is walk a mile a day,
Right.
at bare minimum. So I did that, getting natural sunlight that I've been deprived of for so long, and then documenting. Documenting the process was something I just I didn't realize what that was going to do at that time. And I didn't really understand it. I wasn't really sure if I really wanted to do that. But doing that has brought me into this amazing community of people who have been so supportive and so inspiring to me and motivating to me. It's crazy because I know the internet could be a crazy place, and
Definitely.
it's not like I went ahead and made a major announcement to all my friends like, hey, I'm about to start juicing and this is what I'm about to start doing. I just did it. I changed my name on my social media platforms. I said, this is who I am. This is where I'm at, and this is where I'm going. And I didn't care
Wow.
what anybody said. I said, this is what I'm gonna do, and I just started posting, and then that support system of people, it's just been like all love and support, which I'm just like really, really grateful for. So having that and seeing that I have to post every day too was also the accountability piece as well. So like, hey, if I'm a fail, I'm a fail in front of everybody, you know, and I have to look at myself and I have to tell everybody like, hey, I couldn't do it, So
Right. That's a
that
lot of
was
that's a lot of pressure,
yeah, yeah,
but healthy
but
pressure, healthy pressure.
exactly, exactly. So that's what I did.
That's amazing. That's super, super intelligent. I mean, it wasn't maybe even what you were expecting, but just like,
Yeah,
oh, that's so beautiful of the internet to just be able to literally hold you accountable. That's so
yes,
powerful. So
absolutely,
did you
absolutely.
have any like spiritual or emotional shifts during the fast that maybe like surprised you?
Yes, yes. This was a big piece. This was like, I remember the day. It was day 66, and I was listening here back to music again. I was listening to Kendrick Lamar's album, "Messing Around the Big Steppers," um, and he's my favorite artist as well too. And I listened to the album multiple times, and I always knew the album was about like therapy, him being in the therapy session. And this time around, when I was listening to the album while I was working, I was like, "This is feels different." I feel like I'm actually in therapy too. Like I'm actually
Yeah.
understanding more and more, about this. And then I start getting emotional about everything. And you know, both of my grandparents, my yeah, both my grandparents passed away, but my grandfathers, they're like two different sides of the spectrum. Like one of my grandfathers was such an amazing man, like one of the most amazing men I've ever met in my entire life. And I lost him when I was 18. Um, and that was the last time that I can remember really grieving, like crying extremely hard because I was away in college. I got the news. I was kind of numb about it. And then when I came home for the funeral, and I remember seeing that chair that he used to sit in all the time, and I lost it. And I couldn't stop crying for like 5 hours. Like I've never cried that much in my entire life. And so there was that. And then my other grandfather, I didn't really have a relationship with. I've seen him like maybe one time my entire life. But listening to this album, and I feel like I was experiencing like some generational trauma that might have been put on my family and stuff. So at a blink, it was like a blink, and I just felt the presence of both my grandfathers at the same
Wow.
time, and it's almost like they touched me. That moment felt like an hour, and then it
Wow.
was just like kind of just like let go, and then it was done, and then I started grieving crazy. I was like, what the heck just happened? What happened? And so um, that day I went outside and I grounded. I did some earthing and I just sat down in the middle of a field and started meditating and just being appreciative of everything I'm going through. Just like sitting in it, not trying to fight it or push it or anything, just being in it, just allowing it to do what it's supposed to do. And I was like, this is not me. Like anybody that knows me would probably like hear this and like, what the heck is he talk about? I never would have thought that. Like this is something so out of my character, but
Mhm.
I can tell that this fast was working on me on a spiritual level as well too. Just me being more in tune with myself, who I am, where I'm coming from, the good and the bad is still me, you know. So
Right. Super powerful, man. Wow. It's crazy. Yeah, that's like you're getting lighter, so you're like more tapped into the light, this
yeah,
this light body, this light energy. So that makes sense, man. That's super powerful. What limiting beliefs did you have that maybe you had to let go of about food, your body, and even your identity, to kind of like progress in this and just like continue on with it?
yeah. Um, I just fully committed. I didn't when I saw like all these different people who have done the fast already. One thing I noticed, like the proof is in the pudding. When you look at some of these people, it's like their face says it all. Like I've seen people who you know might eat a lot of protein and get very strong and all that kind of stuff and look good. But what do they look like when they get 60, 70, 80? Do they make it to
Right.
90 to 100? And then I'm looking at the people who are plant based and raw, and I'm looking at them as they get older and stuff like that. They're still able to perform in their 70s and 80s, and they still,
Right.
had that vitality. So I was like, okay, there's a lot of different. I know there's a lot of different routes to lose weight. That's not necessarily what I'm doing. Yes, I want to lose weight, but I also want to lose waste. I also want vitality. I
Right.
also want to live a nice, long, healthy life. So I saw that this looks like the most optimal version of eating and living is actually this route. So the myths about protein and oh there's too much sugar in fruit. I'm just like, is it really though? Because look at what these people are doing. Like, look at them. Like, they're still able to perform. They're still able to work out, go to the gym, run miles, climb mountains, and stuff like that. And they're like 70, 80 years old, and they look great. They're outliving their brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
Right.
I looked at that and I was like, I would prefer that route um, than some of the other routes. 'Cause I tried the other route, so I was like, let me give
Right.
this route a chance.
Amazing. That's definitely a limiting belief that will break is just like experiencing that and like, wow, I'm just only eating sugar and I've been
Yeah,
told, this fruit is just a snack and not actual like food,
yeah.
so that's just powerful, man. And now aside from you losing almost 80 pounds, which is amazing, what are some like symptoms or struggles that are completely gone now compared to what you were dealing with before in your life, in your body, in your mentality?
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
by
The
the
biggest
way,
thing, yeah.
your video shut off if you could try
Oh,
and turn
I'm
it back
sorry.
on, but no worries if not.
I have to turn it back on. I'm sorry. My webcam does that every now and then. I don't know why it does that.
Oh, good.
Let me see.
Okay,
Can you see me
sweet.
again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry about that.
So yeah,
What was the?
what like symptoms or struggles that are like kind of almost gone or completely gone now that you were dealing with before,
Yeah,
and maybe in your mentality, your life, your body?
yeah. The biggest one for me that I really wanted to heal from was my anxiety. Um, it got to a point where in certain situations, like right now, this is a big victory for me because if this was me 90 days ago, I probably wouldn't be able to sit in front of you and have this kind of conversation. My anxiety would start flaring up where I would lose control of my eyes. Like I used to like just continually blink, 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 and I couldn't stop it if I wanted to. So
Mm,
this will happen to me randomly in certain situations, like if I'm driving at night, or if I'm in front of a lot of light, or if I'm in a high pressure situation or in an interview or something like that. So,
right.
um, sorry about that. I saw the camera go
You're all good.
off. So, yeah, so that was the biggest thing that I really wanted to heal from outside of just the weight loss. So, knowing that has been a big victory for me.
Amazing. And do you think like the anxiety stemmed from just kind of always like maybe numbing yourself with the food and just like not ever facing any, serious deep emotions coming up and like you're just always kind of numbed from the food, or where do you think that stemmed from?
I don't know. Like the first time I ever dealt with it, I feel like it's definitely a weight thing. Like I've noticed, like whenever I'm over a certain amount of weight, it comes back, and
Ah,
so I think it definitely has something to do with the weight. The first time it happened to me, I thought I was dying because it's like, why can't I control my eyes? Like, what is happening right now? And I was breathing weird, so I went to the hospital to have them check me out, and they did all the tests, all the blood work, and all that stuff, and they came back and said, "Oh no, you're fine." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm not fine. This is what I'm
right.
describing to you. This is not normal. Tell me what's actually wrong with me so I can fix myself." And they're like, "No, you actually most of your stuff is fine. You're good. I mean, a little bit of high blood pressure and this, but you're fine." And I was like, "So what is that? So what did I just experience?" And they was just like, "Hey, you probably just had an anxiety attack or a panic attack." And I was like, I was just sitting in my room working. Like, what are you talking about? It was my
Right.
first time ever experiencing that, and
Right.
I just, it opened up my world to, how bad anxiety can get for some people, and
Mhm.
um, it was like a whole new world that I just experienced with that, and I was like, man, this is scary. This is horrible. Like, I don't want this to keep happening. So,
Wow. And so you haven't experienced pretty much any anxiety or any of that anxiety in how long now?
um, I got rid of it probably around like my um I got rid of my anxiety around my second month, I would say.
So you were
Um,
kind of still dealing with the anxiety on that first month of juice fasting.
yeah, I was still experiencing it. I was hoping it's like maybe it'll be gone the first week. Okay, maybe the second week. Okay, maybe the first month, and I can tell it decreasing. You know,
Right.
because like there was one point where when I'm driving at night, I used to think like it was the lights at night that would irritate me from like the opposite side of the road. That would I was like maybe this is an eye issue, and it's like no, it's not. It's your anxiety. But then that went away first. So I was like, okay, great, we're making progress. And then it will be okay when I'm doing a video call or something like that. Now it's starting to not come up as much, and I was like, okay, I can see the progression, so I know it's
Right.
clicking. And then I think when I got past that like weight, which I want to say was around like 350 pounds, is normally that weight when it starts to trigger. If I go even higher than that, so once I got like under that, it was gone. So.
Amazing. Amazing. And are you still juice fasting now?
No, so I stopped at 90 days. I was thinking about going to 100 because I really did feel like I could,
Uh-huh.
but I have some things coming up, so I was going to enjoy the Fourth of July weekend and stuff. So I was like, because I finished on my 90 days on July 3rd, so I was like, kind of like perfect time and spend time with the
Yeah.
family and do that. But I don't
Wow.
want to go back. I don't want to go back to eating, the way I was. So I'm going to do a watermelon fast for 30 days next. And
Wow.
yeah, so I've heard a lot of powerful things about watermelon and that challenge. So that's going to be my next challenge.
Amazing, dude. I think that's a great idea. And so what is your daily rhythm looking like now? You're off the juice fast. Like what's your daily movement looking like, your mindset and food right now?
Yeah, so like right now, as we're recording, this is the 6th of July, it's a Sunday. So this is pretty much my last day of just eating what I want until I'm about to start the watermelon fast. So the first day, what I did was I went on my live and I had my first piece of watermelon, um, and so that's how I broke my fast. And that was so good. Oh my god, watermelon
Oh,
is
no.
so good.
No, it's amazing.
but but chewing for the first time in 3 months, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, did I forget how to chew? um,
Right.
but that was that. And then for the 4th of July, I met up with my family, and I'm from Maryland, so like crabs is a big thing out here. So I we normally used to get like crabs and seafood and stuff like that, but I was like, I don't want to dive in back into that so quickly because I don't want to like mess up my stomach. So
Uh-huh.
I ended up eating a salad. Um, and then for dessert, I had my mom made a fruit salad, so I had fruit salad, and
Beautiful.
I was full, I was satisfied, and it was good. So I was like, okay. Um, and then yesterday Um, I did try a vegan restaurant. I guess it's kind of dirty vegan. I'm not sure. Have you ever heard of Planta before? The restaurant
I've
Planta.
heard of Planta. Yeah, I've never been
Yeah.
there, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, I heard about it, so I was like, I'm gonna try it. I was in DC, and I was like, I do want to try this. So I was like, okay, I'll have one meal that I could splurge on and eat. And um, it's a vegan restaurant, but I went to this restaurant called Planta. I just ordered it to go. Ate it. It actually tasted amazing. It was really really good. So I had like
Sweet.
a vegan truffle mushroom uh, pasta situation with their version of steak. I don't know how they made that plant taste like a steak like that. That was amazing. Um,
Mm.
and it was good. And they also had this like little sushi. It was like a white rice with watermelon on top. But
Whoa.
so, but I was like, this it tastes like sushi and it's good. So I was like, okay. But
Nice.
30 minutes later, my body was just like, what did you do? Why did you
Right.
do? I
Wow.
immediately started feeling heavy again, sluggish, lethargic,
Right.
all the things.
Wow.
Um, I went to sleep and I started sweating so much in my sleep. I was like, okay, all right, um, give me some more juice. So I actually wanted to
Right.
drink more juice after that. It just kind of gave me a wake up call, just like, okay, I spent all this time, feeding my body and cells this organic produce and stuff like that. And to go back, like the starch difference of how this other food is and how it breaks down, it's like night and day, you know?
Right. And so did you feel like maybe the symptoms kind of got in the way of I was gonna ask, did you kind of feel like the next day, did you want more? Did you craving more of that food?
Um, so not really. So that was yesterday. Um, so
Gotcha.
I don't really crave that food anymore. I'm actually more excited to just start the watermelon fast. It's like I'm okay. I'm ready. I'm ready for this next phase because this is not working out. So
Right, right.
this is not working out. So I want to do the watermelon challenge next, and once I'm completed with the watermelon challenge, I want to go into plant based raw vegan.
Amazing. I love that plan. So what is maybe like one small thing that you still do every day to like stay grounded in this lifestyle?
So I still drink juice. So when I went down to visit my family, um, I brought a lot of juice with me because
Okay.
some of them haven't had juice before or not like that. So I wanted to
Yeah.
give them that experience to try it out. So I brought my juices with me, and so I'm still drinking juices every day, and I'm still working out. So I'm still going on walks. Recently, I challenged myself. I was blessed to get like 30,000 followers on Instagram. So I do this challenge like whenever I hit a milestone, I like to go out and do a physical challenge. So I did 30,000 steps that day. So
Wow.
I
In
walked
one day.
in one day. I did, and that's like 16 miles.
What?
Yeah,
Amazing, dude. That's
yeah.
amazing.
Thank you, man. That was the first time I ever walked that much in one day, and at first I was like, I don't even know, can I do this? Like, because I'm,
How
you
many
know,
hours was that?
that was okay. It was like 5, 6 hours. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I did break it. We broke it up because my little cousin he wanted to come with me and do it as well too. So I picked him up and we went to the market. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna take you to the market. We'll get some produce and I'll show you around and stuff like that. So we walked around the market first in the morning. Then we went to the store and then we went on this walk. We just walked around the city as much as we could, and then we ended up doing 20,000 steps. Um, and he had to leave, and I like had to make the decision. I was like, okay, I can be satisfied with this 20,000, um, or I can get back out there and finish this 10,000. And
Wow.
and that's what I did. I was like, shoot, let's just go, let's go. So I
Dude,
got
let's
out there
go.
and finished the last 10,000, and I felt incredible, man. I felt really good about that. So
Amazing, dude. That's powerful right there. Awesome.
thank you, man.
And so, oh yeah, I wanted to ask you too, like, how do you think, as far as expenses, juice fasting was compared to how you were eating before? Was it way more expensive? Was it about the same?
Great question. So, um, going in, I thought this was going to be a lot more expensive um, because it's like, okay, organic produce that costs a lot of money. But I ended up saving so much money
Really?
doing this because I was ordering so much food. I mean, from
Ah,
from the DoorDash, from the Uber Eats. As soon as I saw a buy one get one free, I was like, oh yeah, give me that, and I'll eat two meals. And so I was
right.
ordering a lot before, and still going to the grocery store. On top of that, so I was I was spending a lot of money on food, and oh God, that $10, the $20, all that stuff adds up a lot and quickly.
Yes.
So I will go to my favorite grocery store is the Sprouts Farmers Market. So
Oh yeah.
I'll go there and I spend about 150 to $200 um, a week in my produce,
And that's
and
it.
that's it. And I know a lot of people will say that, oh, I don't know, but that's actually really good for
That
me.
is
Like,
super good.
yeah, like a hundred, and it's all organic produce. So, and
Wow.
I was getting the coconut water too. And that's the most expensive part of it.
Yeah.
That coconut water is like $10 a bottle. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Damn, that's amazing, dude. Cause
yeah.
yeah, that's so cheap. Like I'm mostly fruitarian. I'm spending like I don't know, anywhere from 30 to 60 bucks a day on
Oh
fruit, at
shoot,
least
yeah,
out, out here in America, just like melons 5 to 10 bucks each and just
yeah,
like yeah, so man, that's pretty good, dude.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so what do you think most people maybe misunderstand about fasting, healing, or like plant-based living?
Yeah. I think it's so crazy. So one of the things I get a lot is like, okay, aren't you worried about the sugar, the blood sugar and stuff like that? You got to be careful with this. And I used to think to myself like, okay, you're telling me this while I'm drinking, fruits and vegetables, but you would never say this to me if I was drinking a Coca Cola or if I was or if I was eating ice cream. I was just like, it's so weird to me. It's just like, why wouldn't
Right,
you bring that up if I was eating like the normal American diet, but you bring
right,
this up when I'm eating healthy foods? You know what I mean? So
right,
there's a lot of misinformation or information that is hidden or being rediscovered or whatever the case is. But from listening to people like Yaki or other people, like there's every single thing about our body says that we're supposed to be eating fruits. Like it's it's the food that digests the quickest. And even if you look at nature, the closest thing to us in nature, like the orangutan or the gorilla or the monkey, the primate family, they eat fruits and they're strong.
super
They're
strong,
very very
super
strong.
strong.
So it's
Right,
like, okay, I mean, nature kind of gives us answers as well too. And when you look at the other side, then you look at the carnivores and the other side is like they don't look anything like us. They don't operate anything like us. So it's like
right.
I don't know.
No,
Part of
I
this
love
juice
that.
fast, yeah. Part of this juice fast really got me more in tune with nature. It got me wanting to be in nature more, go on hikes more, be around animals more. I'm a plant dad now, like all kind of things. So yeah.
Wow. Amazing, dude. I love that. Now, what would you say to someone who's scared to let go of old food patterns or comfort foods that knows that it's just they feel that it's not aligned?
Yeah. I think you have to really find your why,
Mm.
and really hold on to that. For me, I really felt like I was dying, so I really felt like I didn't have another choice. So that was my why. I wanted to feel better. I wanted to sleep better. I wanted to move better. I wanted to get to the healthiest version of myself. I felt like enough was enough. So that was my why. But somebody else's why might be different. It might be, and I've had so many people, come to me and give me their testimonies and stuff like that. And their why might be like, hey, I want to be around for my children. Hey, I want to, I want to be better for my wife or my husband or whatever the case is. Um,
Hmm.
whatever that why is for you, use that, use that to help.
Amazing, dude. I love that answer. Super, super powerful. Because, yeah, a lot of us, we commit to things and then we forget, right? We forget like
Yeah,
why we forget why we even do things. And it's like if we don't know why, like me and you don't even go to the grocery store without, good enough why, right? So I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's so important, dude. I love that you said that. Is just reminding yourself of your why, even when you feel like giving up, coming back to that why and that why just being so emotional to you, even just like looking or thinking about it. And that's like your anchor, that's your drive. So I love that.
right.
Now, if someone's just watching this and feeling stuck, what is the one thing you'd want them to walk away with right now?
I would say you're not alone. I know when I was at that space of at the largest would I ever been at, I felt like I was alone. I felt like there was like nobody else that is going through what I'm going through, and boy was I wrong. Because when I posted that video, so many people just like, hey, like I'm going through this too. I've been through that too. Like you are not alone. Um, you can be the healthiest version of yourself as well too. And for me, what I did was what I needed to do for me. It might be different for you. Maybe you don't need to do a 90-day juice fast, but maybe you just need to go for walks. Maybe you need to just start eating more plant based and stuff like that to get started. You know what I mean? But I would just say start somewhere.
Amazing, dude. That was super powerful, man. Thank you for bringing your full truth to this conversation because I know someone watching this just exhaled and finally felt seen, finally felt like healing is possible for them too. And if this resonated with you, drop a comment or send this to someone who needs to see what's possible when you stop settling for just managing and start clearing out what's been holding you back. So thank you again, Imani. Truly honored to witness this chapter of your journey. I'll drop Imani's Instagram down below so you guys can go show love, follow him, and get inspired daily to eat more life and be more light. Thank you again, Imani.
Thank you, Keith.
And
Appreciate you, man.
yes, sir. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Happy healing, everyone. Cheers.